Hi, what up, world? We're going to kick it here on a Bleacher Report article by Mr. Zach Buckley of Bleacher Reports. And the title is going to be The Realistic Deals for the NBA's Least Tradable Contracts. And as you can see first, Kevin Love, Blake Griffin are one of the few players that have been on their franchise for a little too long, and they really need to get out of there. Now, Kevin Love is hurt, so that's probably going to be pushed probably towards the trade deadline. If not so, maybe in the offseason. You do have the Cleveland Cavaliers as of right now at a 10-15 record. Around a week or two ago, they were sitting around a 6 through an 8 seed. And I've always stated I expect the Cavaliers to dip and not make the playoffs. And so far, it's looking so good to where they won't make the playoffs. They do have a nice young team. They need to get the veterans out of there. I do like Colin Sexton in his game. He won't make an all-star game. I don't think that's going to be the case, but he'll be very close to making a reserve. Maybe if there's another injury or two, he'll get in, but I'm not going to jump the gun on that. Oh, and also, congratulations to Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning a 7th championship all time. Him and Gronk back again once together. This is an NBA channel, so NBA news have been pretty dead within a week or so. Everything's been focusing on the NFL. So I'm covering this Bleacher Report article to kind of get in the trade rumors and the nitty and gritty when it comes to things. So let's jump into here. Of course, I give my take when it comes to it and my thoughts. All right, so 1 out of 5. The first one will be Blake Griffin and the Detroit Pistons. Now, he does have 2 years left of his contract at around $75 million. I mean, you're looking at around $30 million a season. And Blake Griffin, his overall has gone down this season. I mean, he's Blake Griffin's fallen off a big note. I mean, you don't see the highlight dunks anymore. You'll see only on an inconsistent basis, pretty much averaging 11 to 15 points this season. He's not getting it done with. The Detroit Pistons are at a 6-18 record, worst in the Eastern Conference. They just shipped Derrick Rose out of there to New York. They brought in Dennis Smith Jr. They understand and they realize they got to rebuild. Don't be surprised if they let go of Dwayne Casey before the trade deadline when they fire him and look to trade Blake Griffin somehow, some way. Now, do I expect any teams to actually pull Blake Griffin trade? I do not. Now, there could be a desperate team out there that's in the middle of the hunt that could really try to make something big. Heck, maybe even the Portland Trail Blazers try to do something big to help out Damian Lillard. That's not going to be the best fit, but when it's just CJ and Dame, they're probably looking for a third guy. So maybe the Portland Trail Blazers is one of those teams out there that are kind of desperate enough to pull Blake Griffin trade. There could be another team or two, but around 30 mil a season and he's going to opt in, so it's going to be another season as well. I don't know about that. I don't know. But besides the Portland Trail Blazers, I really don't see another team that's going to be in a huge demand for Blake Griffin. They're going to pull the trigger. Anything on that. So let's cover this trade proposal. All right. So the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to receive Blake Griffin and a 2021 second-round pick in return for Al Horford, Darius Miller, and Ty Jerome. Okay. Now, this is something I can actually see the Thunder doing because the Thunder right now, they have around 17 to 18 first-round picks in the next 7 to 8 seasons coming up. Sam Presti is out here rebuilding and pretty much recycling players for first-round picks. So I like the direction. This is something I can actually see come to fruition. The Oklahoma City Thunder at a 10-13 record. They're still competitive, but they're 14th in the Western Conference. Now, with that record, they would actually be pretty much almost in the playoffs in the Eastern Conference. That just shows the division of foundational teams. But overall, the Thunder are in a great direction, being competitive and rebuilding the right way it's supposed to be. I can actually see them to pull for Blake Griffin, and they can put him for a season or so, and then this is actually a good scenario. You get Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin could pretty much work on his overall, his game, get his trade value back up. Then probably next season, they can trade him away on his expiring contract. So I actually would like that for the OKC Thunder. Get Al Horford out there because Al Horford has around 2 to 3 more years left of his contract. And I'd rather take Blake Griffin if you're the OKC Thunder. The kind of flip-flop recycling stage. If you're the Detroit Pistons, I would actually, if I'm the Pistons, man, I don't know, man, to get Blake Griffin alone. If you get Blake Griffin, or actually, my bad. If you give away Blake Griffin, I'm trying to think here real quick. I mean, if you're the Pistons, you give away Blake Griffin for Al Horford. I don't know, man. That's tough because Al Horford's contract's pretty atrocious as it is. You pretty much just want to rebuild, but I don't know. There's really nothing left in the market. You may just have to pull that trade if you're the Pistons. If so, but I like it more for the Thunder's side of things. I'm not going to really I'm not going to comment too much on the Pistons on that one. All right, Kevin Love on the Cleveland Cavaliers, 3 years, $91.5 million left of his contract. I always stated with you guys, after the Cavaliers won the championship with LeBron and Kyrie in 2016, I immediately stated they should have traded away Kevin Love right after those finals. He never fit with Kyrie and LeBron James. Kevin Love was a beast in Minnesota, being a post. But then when he went to Cleveland, he lost around 20 pounds. He became pretty much a glorified Ryan Anderson 2.0. He would only average around 11 points in the finals, and he was non-existent. He was not a factor whatsoever. I mean, he would come off the bench a couple of those games in 2016, the finals, while Richard Jefferson was a better starter. And then again in 2018, when LeBron left, they should have traded away Kevin Love, but they're trying to keep him on. I don't know why. He's going to get his jersey retired at the end of the day, but the Cleveland Cavaliers, they need to go full young. I mean, they gotta let go of Kevin Love. This is far fetched. This is far overdue, pretty much. There's a numerous amount of teams that could use Kevin Love on your franchise. I mean, you got the Boston Celtics. They can really use him. He would fit pretty well on their team and their franchise. You can look elsewhere. For example, maybe I'm trying to think real quick. Hold up. What other team could use Kevin Love? The Portland Trail Blazers. That could be a team that could use the number 3 guy, quote unquote. I doubt. No, it makes no sense for the Clippers, but I'm just trying to think within that. The Nuggets have always had those kind of considerations for Kevin Love, the Golden State Warriors, but besides from that, I would actually prefer Kevin Love pretty much just go to the Boston Celtics or the Portland Trail Blazers. Those are probably the two better fits, but who knows about it. I think he's overrated. I never thought he was that great ever since he went to Cleveland, but we'll see. All right, so Washington Wizards will receive Kevin Love. In return, they'll give away Davis Bertans, Troy Brown Jr., Robin Lopez, and 2 second-round picks. Yeah, if you're the Wizards, you make that trade. If you want to, of course, they want to keep Bradley Beal, but if you're trying to still work that Russell Westbrook experiment with Bradley Beal and be competitive, trying to make the playoffs, then you make that trade down. You get a starting lineup of Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal at your 2, then Danny Avdija at the 3, or he can be your 6-man. Kevin Love at the 4, and then at your 5, of course, you have Thomas Bryant, or maybe you can try to find another big. But yeah, actually, the Wizards, that kind of makes sense if you're trying to keep the Russell Westbrook experiment with Bradley Beal and then bring Kevin Love. So actually, that would be kind of cool. But the Wizards are at a 6-15 record, second worst in the East, and maybe too far-fetched for them to catch a playoff spot. I mean, maybe so. I mean, they're only 5 games behind. They could still do it. All right, next one, Klay Thompson. Okay, well, listen, the Golden State Warriors are never going to trade away Klay Thompson. They're going to keep him with Steph Curry and Draymond Green. If anyone they're trading away, it's going to be Draymond Green, but I doubt that to be the case. Draymond Green is one of the glue players and core 3 guys, and they're going to wait next season to get Klay healthy. In the 2022 NBA season, Steph, Klay, and Dre will be all 3 together, because the Warriors management and team knows that those 3 have won a championship. Their brand of basketball plays very well and to be a top 3 seed in the NBA. So nothing's really changed too much. They're going to be around 31 years of age, all 3 of them, somewhere in that mix. They're going to keep those 3 together on it. So let's just play this hypothetical. The Warriors give away Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole. In return, they get Miles Turner, Jeremy Lamb, and Justin Holiday. No, sir. That's a laughable. I may just have to skip this right now, but I'm going to read why he says that. Okay, the health qualifier, ACL. Now, listen, even Klay Thompson is hurt, and it takes even extended time. You keep him on your franchise. I mean, Klay Thompson his game will flow beautifully in his late 30s, maybe in the low 40s. because he's a spot-up shooter. I mean, he scored 60 points off pretty much 12 dribbles, something along those range. Klay Thompson's a spot-up shooter, the second great shooter of all time, the first being Steph. You keep the Splash Brothers together until they retire. Easy. And I've stated those Warriors, Klay, Dre, and Steph, they're going to win one more championship in their career together on the Warriors. They will. It'll probably have to be around 3 seasons from now or 4, but they will. John Wall on the Houston Rockets, and him and Victor Oladipo have been kind of in that trade talks. John Wall's found a good, not a home, but he's found a good scenario with the Rockets. After his 1.5 year long injury, he's been explosive and played very well within the season. But the Rockets are pretty much a team that are not going to make the playoffs. Now, they are competitive right now. I mean, they have an 11-13 record. That's around 12th in the Western Conference. But again, the West is too stacked. There's too many foundational teams out there. I mean, heck, you even got the Sacramento Kings in the playoff spot with the Spurs right now. Still somewhat early, but the Houston Rockets, you want to have a good young direction of Christian Wood with your franchise and some younger guys as well. They need to get P.J. Tucker out of there, Eric Gordon, and then eventually trade deadline or the next offseason, you want to get rid of John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins and go young. So they need to find another building block with Christian Wood. John Wall is going to be shipped to the LA Clippers, who need a point guard. So the Clippers are going to receive John Wall, Ben McLemore, Daniel House, a 2021 second-round pick, 2022 second-round pick, and 2024 second-round pick. In return, the Clippers will receive Lou Will, Patrick Beverley, Marcus Morris Sr., Zubac, and Luke Kennard. Interesting. So on the Clippers side of things, it's good that you get a point guard and John Wall in your franchise. Ben McLemore, Daniel House would be electric off the bench, which, I mean, those guys are very ideal for contenders. And you get a couple of second-round picks if you want to flip those for assets in the future, since you gave all those away with that Paul George trade. I mean, if you're the Rockets, I mean, basically, if you give away John Wall, Ben McLemore, and Daniel House, your starting lineup is going to be somewhat suspect. I mean, you'll probably have like Patrick Beverley out there, your 1. I mean, at your 4, you would have Christian Wood. You'd have DeMarcus Cousins at the 5. I mean, if you're the LA Clippers, I mean, to give away, I know they want to ship off Lou Will, so that's fine. But to give away Patrick Beverley and either Morris and or Zubac, I mean, that's kind of, I mean, I guess if you give away Patrick Beverley because you get John Wall, but Beverley he's a culture setter with those Clippers teams. Man, that's an interesting one because you kind of lose depth on your 4. And then, I don't know, man. Oh, the Clippers may do that, man. I don't know. Not only is John Wall, but Daniel House is a great pick for any player on the team. That's a close one. There may have to be some more other moving parts, like the Clippers signing other free agents out there or put a 3-team trade, but that's a close one for the Clippers, man. If you're the Rockets, basically you just want to rebuild as it is. You're not going to give away John Wall and picks just for guys that are in their 30s or in that mix. So Zubac is a nice young pick, Luke Kennard as well. But if I'm the Rockets, man, you can trade away John Wall. You can get some nice younger pieces as well. But the Rockets are not contention, so it makes no sense to bring in Lou Will and all these, contending players. Russell Westbrook. So he's on the Wizards. He's got 3 years left of his contract, $132 million. So the Chicago Bulls receive Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal. Okay. The Wizards will receive Zach LaVine, Larry Markkinen, Kobe White, Otto Porter Jr., Christina Felicio, and a 2021 first-round pick. If you're the Wizards, Zach LaVine and Danny Avdija will be a nice building block together, but Zach LaVine's 25. He's trying to make the playoffs. He's trying to push. He would not re-sign with the Wizards. So if you're the Wizards, man, that's not really the best approach of things. If you're the Bulls, the Zach LaVine live marketing experiment's not working. I mean, the Chicago Bulls right now are at a 9-14 record, 13th, or actually around 12th in the Eastern Conference. I already stated they're not going to make the playoffs. The Bulls need to blow it up. But the Wizards are not going to give away Bradley Beal. They're not going to give away Bradley Beal, especially for Zach LaVine. That's not happening. Bradley Beal's around 27, 28 in his prime. They're not going to give him away. So this trade wouldn't work as it is in general, if anything. And the Bulls right now, they love Zach LaVine. They want to hold on and keep to him. So this is not happening for either team as well. So I'm pretty much going to end it off here. These are interesting trade proposals, especially the John Wall to the Clippers. This one has to have more internal moving parts. But I like the idea, especially for the Clippers who need a point guard. The Klay Thompson trade's never going to go down. Kevin Love, again, the Celtics or Trailblazers could use him, or the Wizards. The Blake Griffin trade, that's a weird one, man. I mean, that's a weird one. Probably the Trailblazers, or if the Thunder want to bring in another first-round pick, do that. But a little fun article. NBA news has been kind of dead, so wanted to jump in here, but we'll get on that.